Let's give you a smoking hot deal in my producer's exact words. Right, Rob? I didn't know that smoking hot was in your vocabulary. He says he looks in the mirror every day and he says, yeah, smoking hot. After about 2 hours of looking in the mirror, I might say that. Doesn't happen naturally. Okay, let's talk about these smoking hot earrings because it really is a phenomenal buy. And this is like going to be, thanks so much, Deke, your go-to pair of earrings. This is everything we love about those Italian designs. They're cool, they're high polished. It's a perfect Electroform hoop earring. The length on these bad boys, because they are smoking hot, are about 1 inch in length, and they're also going to be about 1 inch in diameter. So I call that the perfect size. Not too big, not too small, gets you noticed. They're also done in all precious metal, all solid sterling silver, and then you see that high polish finish. That's the luster, that's that magnetic quality that we love about solid sterling silver. It is simply the most reflective metal in the world. There's nothing that has that reflective property like solid sterling silver. And that's what makes these really kind of flashy, gorgeous, fun, and a little bit flirty too. And here's what we did to the price. Because notice, I don't really talk about the price a lot because I think it speaks for itself. You can read it on your screen, but sometimes I just have to say, these are $30 off our regular price. They were a great buy at $49.90. Don't get me wrong, they were a phenomenal buy, but they just got better, and I do think these are headed for an entire sellout. So do not hesitate on this one. Don't go make a cup of coffee or walk the dog. And that's what I'd be doing at this hour. Because those dogs wake me up, darn it, I can never sleep in. Either they're hungry or they need to go outside. One of them's scratching. You never have your pet wake you up in the middle of the night just because they're scratching, they're pacing. One of mine actually yelps in his sleep, I have to say. He has like little dreams. Do you ever wonder what your dogs dream about? I do. He's probably running, he's probably chasing rabbits. Well, actually, if it's my black dog, he's probably just dreaming of food because that's all he thinks about all day long is food. He's very food motivated. I love the design of these earrings. These are your essentials. If you don't have enough pair of hoops, and I don't know any girl who actually would admit to having too many pairs of hoops, you need one for every occasion. These would be your go-to everyday earrings. They're Electroform, and the great thing about Electroform is they give you a really big look, but they don't weigh you down because it's actually hollow in the middle. It's done out of a mold. You'll see the hole at the very back of the earring. That's where they actually let the wax escape. So create a nice, big, bold size, but they're not heavy. So it's not gonna be pulling or tugging on your ears. Everything that touches your ear is solid sterling silver. It clicks, it locks into place, and then you have that beautiful hoop that just goes all the way around. Nice thin profile from the front, but I love that graduated design from the side. And they look so pretty on Kate. I need to tell you, we have 150 pairs left. We already sold 100 pairs, so these are on the way to a complete sellout. If you're savvy, like some of our shoppers earlier, like Marsha, she was already shopping for holidays. I have to say, kudos